Today I've got the Thrunite Saber. Now, Thrunite contacted me, as they do a lot, and they say, hey, can we send you this light? I usually say yes, and they contacted me about this one, and they said, hey, can we send you this light? And I said yes, but internally I was kind of like, okay, I have some other AA form lights, like these Olight i5, i5Rs, and I don't carry these that much because the i3T that I have is a bunch brighter and throwier than these i5. So for a smaller size, I don't carry it. So I kind of thought, okay, great, another AA battery light that I'm probably not going to carry. Even this one that's super cool looking, I don't carry because the beam profile is kind of a floody, not that bright. So I got this and okay, great, nice light. I take it out and then I turn it on. I'm like, whoa, this is a lot brighter. Who knew? So this one is going to get some pocket time, and let's take a look at this. The Thrunite Saber is a AA size light. You can see it fits right in the palm of your hand. List price is $25.95 on the Thrunite site, but if you check it out on Amazon, I'll put a link down here, it's $19.99, so a little bit cheaper. And of course, you're going to get free shipping if you have Amazon Prime. It comes in a cool and neutral white LED, and those LED, it's a PMMA TIR, that's polymethyl methyl acrylate for you chemistry types, and a TIR lens, and down in there is the luminous SST20 LED. And this whole combination of setup gives this a nice amount of throw. It says 141 meters is what it's rated at, and it will put out up to 659 lumens. By comparison, the i5R comes in at 235 lumens. 659, 235. The Thrunite is rated at throwing 141 meters, and the Olight is rated at throwing 64 meters. So again, brighter and farther throw. The beam profile is definitely much different, and we'll look at that. Before we get to the light, let me just show you what else it comes with. It comes with a pretty standard Thrunite box, just a white box. There's really not much information on the box, just the box. It also comes with an instruction manual. You can, of course, check that out. And it comes with a USB-A to USB-C charging cable because the battery on this is rechargeable. Looking at the construction now of the light, starting on the back here, the tail button is kind of a hard plastic. This is a little bit different compared to the Olights that have a rubberized one. Not a huge deal. Still plenty easy to push, just not quite as grippy. Forward to that, it looks like there is a tail cap here that would come off, but that does not unscrew. That is fixed there. Forward to that is the pocket clip. The pocket clip is removable. It is the standard Thrunite bidirectional pocket clip that I am not in love with. I much prefer the Olight pocket clip that has this angle here so that when you're putting it into your pocket, that glides in a lot easier. All the Thrunite ones, because there is no really ramping up here, every time you put it into your pocket, you likely are going to have to lift it up. So I wish they would do something about the design of that pocket clip. It is bidirectional if you want to stick it on a hat or something else like that. There is some very light ridges here. Wouldn't even really call it knurling, just some ridges. They don't do a whole lot to add to the grippiness. It just gives almost more just a little bit of design. It's not you're not going to drop this light. It's not slippery, but it could be a little bit more grippy with the knurling if I had a little nitpicking. Up towards the head, Thrunite Saber there, and serial number and stuff on the other side. Taking the head off, the battery that comes with this is a Thrunite 14500 920 milliamp hour. And that charges right here. You plug the USB-C cable in there. There's a light up on the tip there that lights up and then turns green when it's fully charged. It is IPX8 rated. There's an O-ring there, so it's going to be plenty safe for whatever weather you're putting this in. And then up to the head there, as I already mentioned, is that PMMA TIR lens with the luminous SST20 LED, which gives this a good amount of throw. The user interface on this could not be more straightforward. There are only two modes, a low and a high. The low is 57 lumens, and the high is 659 lumens. And the tail button is both a half press. You can momentary it to get between the low and the high, just half pressing, or you can click it onto low, and then you can click it on to high. Very straightforward. No hidden modes, no lockouts, no strobes, just those two modes. Now, as I mentioned, because of the design of this, it is a pretty throwy, pretty bright beam. And so for a small light like this, 659 lumens and a rated throw distance of 141 meters, realistically, you're not going to be seeing things that far away with this light, but point is that this is a pretty throwy, bright light for the size. Now, in a size comparison compared to the Olights, it is effectively the exact same size as the i5 and the i5R. I think there is, if you look at the actual specs, about a millimeter difference in size, but effectively it's the same. And then you can see the i3T there is a little bit smaller. As I mentioned, the Thrunites are a lot less bright, 235 lumens versus 659 lumens. And the beam profile is different as well. The Olights have a lot more floody beam and are not as bright, whereas the Thrunite has a more focused, throwy type beam. Now, the only place I could really see the Olight coming for a win here is that the low mode on this at 57 lumens is not really that low. The Olight has a low mode of 24 lumens, and so if you want a true low mode, I think the Olight does win there, but the high modes are significantly different. So overall, while I was not initially excited about this light, after I got it and tested it, I love this light because of just how bright it is for the size. Like I mentioned before, the Olights, even this super cool looking i5T, I don't carry that much because in comparison, the i3T for smaller was brighter looking because it had a more focused beam. And so I've been carrying this, and these are actually not that different in size. The Thrunite is a little bit bigger, but it is going to be brighter and have a more throwy beam. So while this is my most commonly carried light, I think this Thrunite is going to start getting a lot of pocket time because it is just so compact and puts out so much light in comparison. So check this one out from Thrunite. This is the Saber.